The quiet drawing room of the Blacklerius Grand Estate was illuminated by the gentle morning sunlight filtering through towering crystal windows. The room seamlessly blended polished marble floors, enchanted chandeliers, and elegant modern furnishings with medieval craftsmanship. A silent fireplace glowed despite the warm weather, maintained by magic rather than firewood. On a dark violet velvet couch sat the young monarch. Ankallaethor Blacklerius, despite being only 14 years old, carried himself with a composure that many seasoned rulers failed to possess. His dense dark purple hair flowed neatly over his forehead, the lower strands reflecting a faint violet glow whenever light touched them. His violet eyes, tinged with a subtle crimson hue, calmly scanned the articles displayed on his phone. The silver teacup beside him released a thin stream of fragrant steam. Several small pastries and fruit tarts remained untouched. His expression barely changed. After reading another rather interesting report about economic growth and peaceful border negotiations, he spoke in his usual calm voice. Is there any report for the day? Adair. He never lifted his eyes from the screen. Not even a second passed. A soft pair of footsteps echoed across the polished floor. Yes, Your Majesty. The voice was smooth, respectful, and perfectly composed. Standing several steps behind the couch was Adair Caspian. His immaculate black and silver butler uniform looked as though it had never gathered a single wrinkle. His dark blue hair framed a strikingly handsome face, emerald green eyes calm and attentive. Towering at 6 feet 3 inches, his presence was refined rather than imposing. He held a sleek black tablet in one hand while several magically sealed documents floated neatly beside him. He gave a slight bow. There are several matters requiring your attention. He glanced briefly at the tablet. First, yesterday's trade agreements with the Eastern Duchies concluded successfully. Revenue exceeded projections by approximately 12%. He turned a page. Second, the Royal Academy has requested permission to begin this year's scholarship examinations 1 week earlier. Their reasoning is to accommodate the increasing number of applicants. Another page. The western border remains peaceful. Patrol captains reported no monster incursions beyond ordinary activity. Another. The Treasury's monthly audit has been completed. No discrepancies were found. His expression remained unchanged. Lastly. A slight pause. The Intelligence Division has submitted a confidential report. His emerald eyes became just a little sharper. It concerns several noble houses. They have not committed any crime. However, their recent movements have become unusually coordinated. There is no evidence of treason. Only, enough irregularities to justify discreet observation. He lowered the tablet. I have not taken any action beyond increasing surveillance, as I believed Your Majesty would prefer evidence before judgment. Silence settled over the room once more. The only sounds were the gentle ticking of an enchanted clock, and the faint clink of porcelain as Adair quietly adjusted the teacup, ensuring it remained at the perfect temperature for his king. Ankallaethor lifted the porcelain teacup with practiced elegance. The warm aroma of black tea drifted upward as he took a slow, unhurried sip. After setting the cup gently back onto its saucer with barely a sound, his eyes remained on the news displayed on his phone. A brief pause followed. The trade agreements proceeding smoothly as expected. Continue supporting them, but do not become complacent. Prosperity often invites those who wish to exploit it. His thumb idly scrolled to another article before continuing. Approve the Royal Academy's request. An earlier examination schedule is acceptable, provided the quality of evaluation remains unchanged. Inform the headmaster that standards are not to be lowered for the sake of accommodating numbers. Another quiet sip of tea. As for the western border, maintain the current patrol rotation. Do not increase military presence. An unnecessary display of force only creates needless tension. His gaze finally shifted from the phone for a brief moment, settling on the confidential documents floating beside Adair. The noble houses. Do nothing. His tone remained even. Suspicion is not evidence. If we begin judging people based solely on patterns and assumptions, then eventually everyone becomes a suspect. He rested his phone on the armrest of the couch. Continue observing them discreetly. No interrogations. No warnings. No restrictions. If they are innocent, they should never know they were being watched. His violet eyes met Adair's emerald ones for the first time since the conversation had begun. If they are guilty. A short silence lingered. They will reveal themselves eventually. He leaned back comfortably against the couch. Patience often uncovers what force never could. Another pause. Is there anything else requiring my attention today, Adair? Adair inclined his head. As you command, Your Majesty. Without the slightest hesitation, he made several notes on the tablet. The floating documents beside him quietly rearranged themselves as enchanted ink recorded the king's decisions. The Intelligence Division will continue surveillance only. No intervention. No contact. No escalation. I shall personally ensure your instructions are followed precisely. He paused briefly before opening another report. There are 2 remaining matters. The first concerns today's schedule. He glanced at the tablet. At 10 o'clock, the Royal Council convenes regarding infrastructure and magical energy distribution. At 1 in the afternoon, representatives from 3 merchant guilds are scheduled to present proposals for expanding trade routes. This evening, the captain of the Royal Knights wishes to submit the annual readiness assessment. He lowered the tablet slightly. None of these meetings are urgent. If your majesty prefers, they may be postponed. Another document floated before him. The second matter is somewhat unusual. His expression remained composed. Several foreign delegations have formally requested an audience. They are not here to negotiate military or economic affairs. They have expressed curiosity. A brief silence followed. According to their letters, they wish to meet the young king whom they have heard so much about. They have described your majesty as. He glanced down at the letter. The silent violet king. Another line. The young monarch whose composure surpasses men twice his age. And another. The king who rarely speaks, yet whose every decision shapes nations. Adair closed the document. The requests are respectful. None have attempted to force an audience. I have left every request unanswered until receiving your majesty's decision. He folded one hand neatly behind his back. Would you prefer to decline them all? Accept only selected delegations. Or leave the requests pending for the time being?